make a difference? Yes, I suspect that one or two Puerto Rican people from Puerto Rico, voters, American nationals originally from Puerto Rico, will be offended by one comment or the other, or perhaps both, and it might affect their vote. Will it affect the outcome? We'll see. But like you say, we still remember Hilary Clinton's deplorables comment, and that was now more than 8 years ago.
And Alistair Dawber is the Washington correspondent of The Times and The Sunday Times. Hello, Alistair.
Hi, Hugh.
Thanks for being with us. So, look, Joe Biden has tried to clarify his comments after he appeared to call supporters of Donald Trump garbage. Let's take a listen.
Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's a failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top. He says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable.
Well, now Donald Trump has turned up to a Wisconsin stump speech in a bin lorry wearing an orange high-vis vest. This is what he told supporters.
I think the Democrats have done a very poor job. We're leading in every state. We're leading big. And I think that the comment made by really both of them, because there are really two of them, about being garbage, maybe 250 million people, they shouldn't be talking. That's like deplorable for Hillary. This is the deplorable for Hillary. And I think this is worse, actually. For Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace.
Alistair, Trump must have been punching the air in glee when Biden said that. What do you think Biden actually said, though? Where do you stand on apostrophe gate?
I think that what Joe Biden was trying to point out is that at the Madison Square Garden event that Trump held in New York on Saturday, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe stood up and said that Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. Now, I think what Joe Biden is trying to do in his own way is to turn that onto Trump and say, people who support Trump, people who are cheering those comments at Madison Square Garden, the people around Trump, and then we talk about Trump's history of racist allegations and racist comments. That's the direction of what Joe Biden was trying to say. But of course, the way it came across is Joe Biden describing Trump supporters, and the country is pretty much equally divided between those that are supporting Donald Trump and Kamala Harris this election as garbage. So thus writing off half the population. Of course, what Donald Trump has done is taken it even further. He's talking about all Latinos. So he's taken the comment from Joe Biden and applied that to all Latinos, and talking about Joe Biden referring to 250 million people as garbage, which I don't think is true. But of course, that's the politics we live in. And of course, what has happened again is Donald Trump has been able to take what is a negative event, this so-called joke at his rally on Saturday, and turn it to his own political advantage. He turned up, as you said, in a dumpster truck on last night at his rally in Wisconsin and wore a high-vis vest throughout the rally, just in case people have forgotten what Joe Biden said.
And how much does this matter? It seems like silly stuff. But when Hilary Clinton talked about the basket of deplorables, that was that was pretty bad, and that did have an impact, right?
It's a moment, right? It comes in a week where Kamala Harris has tried to sort of put herself at the front and center of events. She had a big rally in Washington a couple of nights ago. And of course, as she was talking to people and making what she called her final argument to the American people, Joe Biden was making his garbage comments. So it undermines her campaign as well. Whether it has any impact on the polls, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the polls this morning, and it's incredibly tight. I mean, in the clip there, you said that Donald Trump saying he's miles ahead in all the states. I mean, that's probably not true. It's incredibly close, both at a national level and, most crucially of all, in the 7 swing states they're going to decide the election. Will it make a difference? Yes, I suspect that one or two Puerto Rican people from Puerto Rico, voters, American nationals originally from Puerto Rico, will be offended by one comment or the other, or perhaps both, and it might affect their vote. Will it affect the outcome? We'll see. But like you say, we still remember Hilary Clinton's deplorables comment, and that was now more than 8 years ago.
Yeah, indeed. Well, as you say, Kamala Harris has also been speaking to voters, of course. She used a final big pitch with the backdrop of the White House to preach consensus and the end of division. Here she is also talking about Trump.
America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. Donald Trump has spent a decade trying to keep the American people divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is. But America, I am here tonight to say that is not who we are.
Well, Harris's speech was made only meters away from the White House, and she made a stark choice between an autocrat or freedom. Alistair, she was speaking from the very spot where Donald Trump addressed the mob that stormed Congress in 2021. Presumably, she just wants to keep reminding people about that again and again and again.
Exactly, and at other parts of the speech, she did exactly that. She wanted, I think, to present herself, like you say, project this image of democracy being under threat. It's nearly 4 years ago since Donald Trump stood in that spot and told his supporters to fight like hell to save their country. And of course, a lot of them then went down to the Capitol and ransacked it. The imagery, the symbolism that Kamala Harris was trying to project on Tuesday night was exactly that. But she also, I think, she wants to have a cake and eat it in a sense. She wants the backdrop of the White House. She wants to show herself as a presidential material, if you like, already. But then spoke a great deal about how she was an outsider. She's a prosecutor. She prosecuted the people that were damaging the United States, that not all the best ideas come from Washington. So, on the one hand, trying to project this image of being a president in waiting, but also this idea of an outsider, someone with fresh ideas, someone, frankly, from a new generation. Donald Trump's 78, Joe Biden's 81. She's presenting herself as a fresh change, a generational shift in American politics.
Yeah, I mean, how would you say her campaign has changed in the weeks and months she's been running it? Because it seems she started off very much as the candidate of joy, as you say, the sort of fresh new thing, always smiling and twirling. Yeah. And now she seems to be going sort of much bigger on highlighting basically on highlighting what she sees as the draconian aspects of Trump's presidency.
Yeah, I think she's realised that while Trump is very popular with supporters, he's deeply unpopular with large swathes of the American people. And she really hasn't held back. I mean, we had the comments 2 or 3 weeks ago now from John Kelly, Trump's former chief of staff, who said that Trump had admired Hitler at various times during his presidency. Now, Kamala Harris has absolutely jumped on that. And in British politics, we don't hear political opponents calling each other fascists. We certainly do now in the States. Kamala Harris has absolutely gone for the jugular on Donald Trump's character, on his record in office. And what she claims, and many people agree with her, is the threat to American democracy that he brings.
Yeah, I mean, do you think how's it going for her? I'm not going to ask you to predict a result, but it seems sort of from a long way away. It seems like she had a very bad week last week, and this week's perhaps been slightly better. The polls, So when she came into the race, and then when we had the debate between the two, she edged ahead in the polls and critically in some of the swing states. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, those polls have tightened again. So in terms of whether her change of tack, whether her more aggressive approach to Donald Trump is working, we'll have to see. But the polls are so tight. I mean, I'm just looking at a list now on my screen behind you, and some of them have Harris ahead by 2 or 3 points. Some of them have Trump ahead by 2 or 3 points. The swing states oscillate almost every day between who's going to win. It could be very, very close. And of course, we really are talking about just a handful of voters, maybe no more than about 5,000 in these 7 key swing states who will ultimately decide who wins. Well, we'll see what conversation we're having next week. Thank you very much indeed, Alistair Dawber. Great pleasure to speak to you, as always.